Hey guys, welcome back to Popcorn's Perspective. And this is what are we in this time? It's been so long for a little while because obviously I took a break for my birthday. I want to say that already. I took a break for my birthday, so that's why I did not upload last weekend, but I managed to upload this weekend. So that's actually good news. So we are in episode 7 of Sonic the Hedgehog. Yep, I'm gonna do Sonic the Hedgehog just because the Sonic 3 trailer came out a few weeks ago, and I'm like, okay, should I really do it? Should I not? Or should I just wait when the movie comes out since it's gonna come out like in a few months, right? So I was being indecisive. I was being really indecisive about like where was I gonna go with this. But but yeah. So obviously y'all know what Sonic the Hedgehog is. I think everyone in the world knows. He's just this blue hedgehog who just kind of like roams around, kind of really saves woodland creatures, has sidekick named Tails, and fights Dr. Robotnik or Eggman, one of the two. They never really confirmed the names, but yeah, so we had to deal with those. And the Sonic movie is actually a lot more different than basically the normal storyline, which is really surprising, but at the same time really isn't. Like you can expect see from a video game. And this video game movie actually saved the whole series. Like it saved like the whole series afterwards. It saved like the whole video game movie franchise BS. I mean we got the Ratchet and Clank one, but personally that's my favorite. But I don't care what anyone says, everyone can have their bad opinions. It is what it is, what it is. But so let's actually get right talking about it because I actually do have a lot to talk about Sonic for kind of like a little while. Um, okay, so first off, let me say this: the Sonic movie is a 10 out of 10. It's well, to be fair, not really. I might change it a little bit. It's not really a 10 out of 10. It's more like a 6 out of 10, or not even a 6 out of 10. It's somewhere in the between of like 7 and 8. Let me okay. So I'm gonna explain you my experience of the movie real quickly. So my story actually happened during Sonic movie because I think I might explain stories as well. I'm gonna explain my experience with them, of like how I watched it and when did I watch it and how it was. So I watched the Sonic movie with a friend. She was actually just kind of like, okay, what the hell? And I was like, hey, we should go watch the Sonic movie since it was on February 14th. So if y'all can get kind of puzzle it together, I'm not gonna say it, but if y'all can puzzle it together, that would be cool. But yeah, we went to see a Sonic movie, and honestly, well, pretty good. It's pretty good, but when I rewatched it, there were some things that like kind of made me question, like, why? Like it's like whenever you see a movie first time, you feel like yeah, you're happy about it. Then the second time, you're just feeling like, wow, he could have really done all this. But yeah, nothing really much to say about my experience because I just kind of went to the movie theaters and watched it from there. I mean, I have nothing to be fair, but yeah, let's actually go straight in and talk about the movie quickly, then get my opinions about it because I feel like everyone wants to hear my opinions or at least like the detailed movie at least a little bit. So, pretty much the Sonic movie is just like basically if Batman kind of like got into it. Like Batman, like that's how I kind of saw it. Was that Sonic was kind of like a whole Sonic Batman BS, where his parents died, blah blah this, blah blah that. But yeah, so apparently Sonic had a not really a mother, but like a caretaker per se, and it was Longclaw. Now, I'm being honest. When I first heard the name Longclaw, I thought I was like, what the hell? What type of adoption BS is this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I had never heard of Longclaw. Throughout the whole entire Sonic series, I never heard of Longclaw. So that's what kind of really surprised me. Then yeah, Sonic kind of tells this whole origin story. Like, hey, yeah, I was an orphan. I had this island, which by the way, the island's not called Green Hills. It's just called the island. It's just not called Green Hills. It's just called the island. And I feel like that's kind of like, I feel like in a way it does make sense why, but at the same time I kind of wish they call it Green Hills too. Like like say for example, each world is green hills. Like they have a green hills of their own. Like Mushroom Planet, green hills. Earth, green hills. Sonic's Island, green hills. Like it should be like that. It should be like that. So basically, a little bit while Sonic explains out, yeah, he kind of was a little kid who ran fast, had these superpowers that were like, unknown and whatnot. Then basically, later on, there were the there were these echidnas. So yeah, so they were so I was confirmed. So in the next movie, they confirmed about the echidnas, which I'm not gonna spoil too much. But yeah, the echidnas were attacking Longclaw and Sonic because they wanted Sonic for their power, or in a way, she hid the Master Emerald. So that's also another thing. Yeah, she. That's also another thing that happens and covers in the second movie. That Longclaw hid the Master Emerald, so that's why the echidnas were going after her. Then Longclaw gets shot, which by the way is something kind of ridiculous because I want Longclaw to stay alive for at least a little bit. Like at least for a little bit, because like in the deleted scene where Sonic was literal disgusting as fuck. Um, Apparently Longclaw technically did live, and she died by old age. While in the now final take is Sonic basically seeing his own mother died by basically getting killed by echidnas, which is really fucked. To be fair, it's more fucked. And oh, another thing. So the rings apparently are basically transportations instead of basically like, your health or what or your basically anything like that. But apparently they're transportations, which it does make sense because the big rings kind of show like the transportations in the game. But I don't think any small ring would not probably be like that. So, but yeah, so Sonic went to Earth. Longclaw's dead. Oh my god. But yeah, Longclaw's dead by the echidnas, and now Sonic lives on Earth where he can be saved. Now, keep this in mind. Sonic was like this small, like he was this small, and it's been a few years, so he kind of grew up into being, I guess, a teenager or a kid, and basically kind of just kind of stayed on hidden on Earth because apparently he can't show his powers at all to humans because they will want it for themselves, and that's kind of whole just now, basically, what I also really didn't like about is Longclaw dying so easy. Like I want her to live like a little bit longer to see like what's her storyline. You know what I mean? Like what's she kind of really meant for or whatnot. So basically, oh, sorry man. Yeah, sorry man. Basically, Sonic, yeah, came through hiding in basically the earth for quite a while. He kind of lives in the cave, grabs a bunch of stuff. He basically has his whole house in the cave where it has a beanbag. It has a bunch of junk that I don't know where the hell Sonic got it from, but it's whatever. And we meet our main characters, Tom, Sonic, and we have other characters that Sonic kind of mentions: Crazy Carl, Pretzel Lady. What was it? What was it? What was it? Yeah, I think that was pretty much it. I don't remember doing much else. Then basically, they were talking. So Sonic was kind of like talking about like how he was living fine on Earth, whatnot. But in reality, he's kind of alone. So he's kind of upset that he's always alone. He kind of like wish he was there with his like with his friends because well, I mean to be fair, living alone for quite a while is kind of like again sorry, but yeah, it's kind of like a little bit boring for them. At least boring for that man. I mean, personally, if I lived alone for quite a while, I think I would have been done doing the same thing. I kind of was talking to myself nonstop, but it is what it is. So basically, he kind of got so whenever Sonic gets upset, apparently, he kind of explodes, like literally explodes, like kind of pretty much a normal human does, kind of explodes. So basically, Sonic kind of got upset. he got upset in the baseball field because he's realizing he has no friends. He's gonna be alone the whole time, and he suddenly gets upset and actually makes a huge explosive. So yeah, good job, Sonic. And the U.S. government found that out. Blah blah this, blah blah that, and apparently they're like, should we hire him? Should we bring him up for this job? They're like, you're not thinking what I think you're thinking, and they pull over Robotnik. Which, by the way, Jim Carrey, good job, nailed it, nailed it. But yeah, so I don't know what the fuck is this man's history because this man kind of just suddenly just came out of nowhere, no background character or nothing, just kind of we're gonna have background character in the third movie, but it is what it is. So basically, Robotnik tries to find Sonic apparently in any means necessary, or at least what caused it. And Sonic tries to leave, whatnot, but they already catch it up to him, so he had to go somewhere else. Then he met the Donut Lord's little fucking house. Like I'm gonna call him Donut Lord. Um, and apparently he tries to escape there, but he got basically tranquilized by Donut Lord because that man is overreacting, and basically just kind of like tranquilized Sonic and basically fell asleep and whatnot. Then later on, like pretty much the whole premise of the movie in small terms, it's just Robotnik trying to find Sonic, trying to know where they're at all times, and and basically the whole entire time is Tom and Sonic kind of having a little bonding, and pretty much going to San Francisco where Sonic drops his rings, and basically Sonic tries to do everything that he can before he goes to Mushroom Land, to just since he'll be technically by himself even more instead of people. And Tom is like kind of like again, sorry about my yawning, but yeah, pretty much Tom was just kind of like a little upset, but he's just being like a father figure to Sonic because one, he was gonna go somewhere else. He had like a promotion of him going to basically San Francisco as like as like technically like his dream job is like being a bigger cop. And Sonic did not like that idea, by the way. He did not like that idea. And basically, he kind of just, was pissed off that Tom was leaving, whatnot. And, Robotnik catch ups to them, obviously. So that's kind of like the half the premise of the movie. So I'm just going to skip a little bit of that. Then we get to the very end where Sonic is now in San Francisco. He's basically unconscious because of one of Robotnik's stupid machines. So obviously, Tom brings him to, you know, Pretzel Lady's house, like kind of Pretzel Lady's sister's house. I completely forgot her name. And, whatnot. Kind of gives up whole premises. Now they found out that Sonic is pretty much an alien. And, blah, this, blah, blah, that. They kind of were panicking. They were like, oh my god, Crazy Carl was right. Because a lot of people, because that was the kind of the whole premise of the scene. Like, oh my god, Crazy Carl's right. Crazy Carl's right. Like, that's kind of the whole premise of the first kind of little bit movie. Like, oh yeah, he's fucking right. Oh, well, deal with it. So, already, Sonic has his new shoes. Now basically during the half the movie he doesn't have his regular shoes till like in the final, which is something that should have been done. To be fair, yeah. So he gets his classical Sonic shoes that he gets, and there were so many deleted scenes where Tom and like Sonic were talking, and the thing is like I wish they added that, but oh my god, bro. So in one okay, so alright, I'm gonna explain this. One of the scenes was Sonic talking to his uh talks to Ozzy about basically Tom being best friend and whatnot. And Tom gives Sonic a pep talk about why was he upset. Apparently that was in the deleted scene, which again they could have added that, but they decided not to. So obviously later on during the whole entire film, they try to get to the tower where Sonic lost the rings and finds technically And Robotnik catches up to them. Sonic tries to deal with all of this. And apparently, during the whole tower fight scenes, like slow motion fight scenes, Robotnik is now a lot more faster than Sonic because he has basically the blue hair that Tom caused basically in the beginning of the movie, and basically he's using that as his advantage, which will make a lot of difference. That's another reason that's Sonic Metal Sonic will be in Sonic 3. Um, but yeah, so later on during the film, a lot of this there was a whole chase scene, which now again it's not a pretty good chase scene. Lots of Easter eggs, obviously. Then basically in the very end of the movie, Sonic is unconscious. The Lord kind of saves him, but he says he's my friend. And Sonic gets that motivational friendship speech and kind of goes Super Saiyan pretty much the whole time. And Donald Lord gets sent to the mushroom planets, and Sonic gets to the greenhouse. And Sonic now lives with Donald Lord and Pretzel Lady, and that's kind of a good thing. Then later on, the film, it shows Robotnik kind of like shaving off his hair and him actually being Eggman. And in the very post credit scene, Tails comes up, and that's where we get, and boom, that was the whole entire movie. So, what I didn't like about it, I can say for sure I didn't like how they removed all the deleted scenes. Because, like, okay, the long claw deleted scene, see, I want that to be large. Because I wanted to see like, oh yeah, what's Long Claw story, what's like she's gonna say. Because we got so little of her in the first movie. We got so little. Then we got the whole scene with Sonic and Tom having a moment saying like, and Tom like kind of questions like, why did you do that? Like why did he start the explosion? Like I kind of wish they never removed that, but it is what it is though. But just like, ah man, I just wish they did not remove those scenes at all. Yeah, I'm recording this at like 12 in the morning, and I just got back. So that, but alright, that's kind of like the whole. That's kind of like the whole premise. Like the reason I don't like about it too much is because like, well, I don't like how Green Hills is literally called Green Hills. Like, I mean, yeah, I get it's a town and everything, but it should be called Green Hills in the island. But then again, it makes sense as well. Um, I also like one thing is that like there's a lot of like scenes in the whole entire scene that like makes you question like, wait, why did this happen? Wait, why was this gonna happen? And there was a lot of funny scenes. There was a lot of fun scenes in the movie, which is pretty good because Sonic is kind of really about being funny, and Jim Carrey did that perfectly. Did that perfectly. My boy did that so perfectly. And obviously, I know a lot of people were upset when the movie came out about the voice acting because like they didn't like how well they just don't like the voice acting, video game characters. But it is what it is, though. I mean, you can't really expect people to voice over video game characters, especially normal ones. So I don't know why people expect that. Now, there was another thing I don't like about the movie. How they kind of use Supersonic as like kind of like his own power, like super. Like don't get me wrong, Supersonic is kind of a little bit like just his regular power, but so we have to give like Super Saiyan Sonic as kind of the gold. But that's kind of what I didn't like about that. But it is the beginning of the movie and they were experimenting, so I guess it's what they thought as like kind of like a good thing. So I don't know about you, but I really hope they kind of like change it a little bit. I mean, don't like not change it a little bit, but like kind of show a little bit more effect to it. So I think pretty much. I feel like I want to get to the good points in the movie. I fucking love the Easter eggs so much. There were so many Easter eggs in the damn movie, and honestly, if I'm really being honest, that's probably my best. That's probably the best part I've seen. Then we got the Tails cameo. Tails, I was so happy to see. I was so happy to see my boy with his two tails, bro. Like I was so happy. I think they had to change his design a little bit because that's how he is. You show a character, you have to change the design. Oh, you show a character again, you have to change the design. They kind of did that so many times. It's kind of a little bit what it is, but like. Anyway, sorry, guys. Nah, sorry, I'm tired. But um, but that's also what I really like about it, and I really like the soundtrack. I really love the soundtrack so much. It felt perfect. It felt perfect in its own way. Um, and I also the one thing I didn't really like about half the Sonic films as well is that I watched Sonic on the Ground. I watched like a lot of Sonic games, and none of them had like kind of like songs that were none of them had like kind of like the motive like the motive to like start a Sonic movie. The Sonic movie kind of like got like a 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 review because it felt like kind of like straight to the point, but like it's what you do though. It's like what do you need to tell about Sonic? He just saves critters. He kind of just saves critters from a big giant robot man, or big giant fat man named Eggman. So what do you need to really tell? So they went deeper into the lore, which a lot of people didn't like that. That's why a lot of people didn't like the film because they went deeper into the lore, like they want to make their new story. But the thing is, every video game story is gonna be different in every sort of way. I don't like that's the one thing you need to know. It's gonna be different. It's no matter how you want to change it, it's never gonna change. But yeah, that's also so yeah, that's kind of like a thing that I didn't like about the movie. However, during basically in like I guess the first scenes, I was hoping for like I don't know some of the scenes to be in like the Sonic like the very first Sonic trailer. If y'all are the true OGs for 2019, y'all would have saw the really bad Sonic trailer. And y'all would see there were some scenes that were there, some scenes that weren't there. And I wish to God it was there. I wish to God it was there with Sonic's new design. So that way we can like see like what would have happened. You know, like what would have happened during the series. So that was already one thing. Um, what about the good? Okay, that's kind of the only thing I didn't know about. Or well, I did talk about the good, but but the thing is, it's really nothing good because like the story's kind of like just normal. It's kind of what you expected. And I know there's a lot of these movies are gonna have friendships, love, and whatnot, because that's kind of what the whole premise of the movie is. Just Sonic finding family and love, pretty much. Even though in the second movie found his friends, now in the fourth movie he's about to pretty much lose all of that. It's well, he's probably not going to, but knowing the whole entire story, it might. So that's what I kind of like about the whole entire series is that like it kind of leads up to basically Sonic 3. So I'm actually excited for see Sonic 3. I don't know about y'all, but I am. The Sonic movie did do pretty well. A lot of people thought it was gonna do terrible though. Now, the only thing I kind of wish it changed was Sonic having like kind of like the motto of saying like gotta go fast, which he does say in the second movie. So thank the Lord. But I was hoping he was gonna say in the first movie. He was gonna say like gotta go fast or oh yeah this is happening. Like half of the things happen in the second movie. So that's also another thing. Fans were expecting like a lot more from the movie, like a lot more Easter eggs, a lot more phrases, but they did not say anything. So that was kind of the thing. So what can I really get from this though? For like at least like from watching the movie again, is that it's kind of like a typical story. It's like kind of like a typical hero story. Like, yes, the hero's family kind of dies. He's all by himself. Then later on, he finds Keglu like he's surrounded, he's in trouble. Then later on, like one of the people he cares about comes in his life, and saves him, saves everyone, defeats Robotnik, save everyone in the Green Hills, and like that's kind of just simple. It's Sonic the Hedgehog is just completely a simple movie. I mean, it's not supposed to be that like big. It's not supposed to be that small either. So honestly, it's a pretty good film. I can definitely say for sure. It's a pretty good film. A 7 out of 10. I mean, a 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10. You can definitely watch this with your friends, ro- girlfriend, boyfriend with him or family because like it kind of resembles to all of them. It resembles to all of that. So I pretty much have nothing much to say about the movie because it really isn't. It's kind of really more simple. Like, I mean, yeah, there's deeper lore into it. There's like, yeah, the Long Claw and the Echidnas and the Master Emerald, or like why the Long Claw specifically is taking care of Sonic, what happened to Sonic's actual parents, and like, basically like, hey, what happened like the land. Pretty much from the beginning, the movie's pretty much what everyone's curious about. And basically that's kind of what the whole premise is because like you need to know story from way back then or I'm saying. And thank God again, the song two kind of explains a little bit more about literally the whole entire like introduction of the first movie to see like, hey, what the hell's going on? Like, why is song kind of doing all that? You know. So I can definitely say for sure though is that Sonic one is not it's not the greatest movie. It's not better than the second one, but it's a good movie definitely to watch though. And I cannot wait for Sonic 3 because God, Shadow is gonna be a menace. That man's gonna be just killing people. You know what I mean? But yeah, so honestly, I'm excited for that. So in my conclusion of this whole podcast, which I know it's short, but sometimes when a movie's kind of like short, simple, and whatnot, you kind of really can't talk about much, especially with the lore being so short, which you don't really need to know much. All His conclusion: Jim Carrey carried. I don't care. Jim carried or the actor Sonic carried. Like one of the two. Like one of the two carried, and yeah, it's a pretty fun movie. It's a pretty fun movie. Even the music was definitely the post credits music was definitely good. It was definitely good for my taste. Again, Juice World should have literally became in it because apparently Juice World was supposed to be in the Sonic film, so that was actually supposed to be cool. But overall, it was a pretty fun film. I highly recommend watching it if you haven't already. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much a podcast. I don't know what y'all expected. I will talk about Sonic 2 a lot more though because it shows actually like lore from Tails, Knuckles, the back then as the Echidnas, the Master Emerald, and pretty much of like what's like going on because it has more detail than what a normal movie should have though. So yeah, that's Sonic the Hedgehog episode 7. I know it's really short, but when a simple story has happened, you can't really explain much besides kind of like the lore. And well, guys, I'll see y'all in the next episode. Peace out.